Hello, welcome, one and all, to Shadow of the Broker After Dark edition. I am Jack, GMing, continuing to GM the New Year's Week Geharr incident special. We are now at part 4, Explosive Celebrations, and I have with me a surprisingly full group who will now introduce their characters, starting with Ben.
Hi, I am playing Gristella Vanks, also known as Gristle. He's a Shistavinan doctor, charmer, and newly marshal. He's the crew's main medical officer and wants to keep them safe and not making people angry. That's what he wants to do the most.
Yeah. Next up we have Kale.
I'm playing Erdwan Sale, rebel agent, archaeologist, and force sensitive.
All right. Next up we have Jeff.
I'm playing Rock, the murder bot with a heart of gold.
Moving on to Leslie.
I'll be playing Hacks. Hack, he's a gank who loves to slice, and he believes the spirits will protect him.
And next up we have Nick.
I'll be playing Savak, weak ways dedicated to destroying the Empire no matter the cost.
And finally we have Tommy.
I'm playing Ragesh Vai. He is a former Imperial ISB agent. I guess that was redundant, but yeah.
All right. And with this party assembled in the basement, the special base acquired by the team in Phase 1 of the operation that is unfolding during this little mini campaign, you have come to hear the familiar tone of when the holotank is calling you, and it sounds like Attaché Liama has her next assignment for you. Jeff, before I move on, how caught up are you with events, just so I know how much to brief you on when we hit certain points?
This is actually my first foray into it. I didn't look and see if there are any mission reports or write-ups for it yet because it's been sort of one after the other. But Rock heard there was going to be explosions, so he's tagging along.
All right. Well, then, yeah, I'll just tell you when we move to the next slide. In the image, most of you recognize the familiar Bothan, who has been your rebel liaison throughout this operation, Attaché Liama. And all of you are surprised to see what looks like a young Dayon woman, the Dayon being a near-human species native to Ord-Gemel, this planet. And while she appears to be a bit of a surprise, Rogesh, at least in his constant streetwise checks, does recognize her as Solana, the resistance leader of the Dayon Liberation Front, the local resistance group opposing the current monarchical rule and serving as the populist faction in the current succession crisis. Liama greets you all, especially the newcomer Rock to the scene, and announces, now that we have finally cleared the field of... Shh. She's supposed to have yellow skin. Oh, then she would also acknowledge Gristle as a... Man, and I was about to do that right after the introductions, too, and I already got moved on. Alright, let's just go ahead and do that. Oh, it looks like everything... morality hit the balance point, and everything else was overshot. So for once, your minds are clear, both for good and for ill. I mean, yes, for good and for ill. Where was I? Yes, Liama says, now that we have finally cleared the field of all rogue elements, betrayers, and people who seek to disseminate false information, we have finally reconnected with the Dayon Liberation Front and reunited our cell with the larger rebel movement. And Solana speaks up. Now, it is time for us to begin the endgame. We must motivate the factions to gather in a single place where we can strike and finally end this crisis once and for all. You, agents, will be the instigators for this. And the holograms of Solana and Liama move aside, and two much larger holograms appear in the tank. One of them appears to be a regal statue of a woman. The picture may be betraying, but I'm limited. Of a tall Daon woman, long flowing hair and regal clothes that seem to flare from her as if she's constantly facing a wind, and a long staff. And in the other one, it appears to be a large industrial complex. Solana gestures to the statue first. This is the Queen Geharr statue placed in the Founders Plaza in Geharr. It is a symbolic representation of the recognized founder of modern Daon society, Queen Geharr. Queen Nahana, the queen that recently disappeared, causing this crisis, is a descendant of this queen, and the statue serves as a cultural symbol of the Daon people. This, and she gestures to the industrial complex, is the core depot. Its official title is quite long-winded, and it has several corporation titles in it. But it is mostly known as the core depot because it serves as the final manufacturing point for several goods that Ord Gimbal sends off-world as its chief exports. Your mission will be to destroy one of these targets during our Daystar celebrations. And all the holograms fade away to show Ord Gimbal and what looks like a large comet in the distance, blaring past. A long purplish tail seems to follow it. This comet swings by every year and serves as the New Year celebration for our local calendar. The Daon revere it, and it has come to be the signal of a large cultural festival that grips the planet. Destroying either of these facilities, this facility or this statue, during these celebrations will serve as a blow to the Daon consciousness and will compel all the factions to meet to give a symbolic gesture towards ending this crisis that is now, apparently to the people, come to a boiling point.
Wait, you want us to possibly destroy this relic?
Solana gestures to the statue and says, "This is a symbol of our people's shackles to the monarchical system. It serves as an impediment to our progress towards a progressive society."
And you really think that destroying that's not going to make things even worse?
Liama seems to shoot Solana. Geez, I ended a lot of these people with an A. Sidewise glance, but says nothing. And Solana continues. The people will rally, seeing that the monarchs can no longer protect what they deem most cherished.
Ragesh is gonna look over at Erdogan, and maybe not right now, but it's gonna be this look of, let's talk about this after this briefing.
Is there no other way to rally these people other than destroying either a cultural monument or their economic center?
Ord Gimbal has been in the grips of this crisis for almost 2 years. The people have become so...
complacent?
Apathetic would be a better word. With only the resistance movement's constant efforts against the other faction seems to grab their attention, but at this point it had become more of an annoyance than anything that would galvanize support it would finally galvanize support to ending the crisis. What we want to do is mainly motivate the people to motivate the factions to finally get together and try and solve this situation once and for all. And Solana clenches her fists and says, "And that is when we can finally strike against all of them at once."
Well, it seems to me if you want to send a message, the depot's the obvious target. Destroying the statue is just glorified vandalism. No one will Bat an eye to
True,
that.
but I don't remember signing on to a terrorist outfit.
You signed on to the rebellion.
I don't know if you've paid much attention, but many people do call us terrorists.
Terrorism's a point of view, so I mean, Savok's going to say. The statue can be a symbol of these people's oppression, or it can be a symbol of their freedom.
Liama nods towards Savak and then looks towards Solana. I believe I can handle the briefing from here, Solana. I'll make sure you are briefed on the report when the job is done. Solana nods, and then her hologram fades out. Liama then looks at you and says, I understand your hesitation to commit either of these acts. In fact, I find it a bit distasteful. However, Solana does have a point. The factions will simply continue to bicker and qualm while others like Batel, like Mastigar, like Droma will work behind the scenes to their own benefit. We need to find...
Sorry, go ahead.
We need to finally put the factions on notice that it has gone on for too long, and only the destruction of something either culturally significant or economically significant will do so.
Okay, so this is where, I mean, Ragesh is just really like thinking, wait a minute here, because if this ever gets out that the rebellion is responsible for this, this could just plunge people into another civil war. I mean, that...
Not to mention, this could be, if it gets out that the rebellion is behind this, imagine what the Empire will do with a story like this, where the rebellion, who have been labeled terrorists mostly by Imperial supporters, would be behind an actual act of terrorism.
Savok's going to skip back. Most of what we do is going to be considered terrorism.
Liama will also point out that that is why the Liberation Front is not committing this act. You are.
So it's basically, but then if it's an outside party that does it, then there's no, shouldn't it be someone or a group that cares about the future of their planet that does it? Wouldn't that have more impact rather than a random group of people who just sort of come in and blow something up? If anything, we come off more like assholes than like a galvanizing force.
As long as you aren't captured and divulge the information of why you're attacking the statue, people will make their own decisions, and most likely, due to the unrest that's been gripping this planet for so long, they will blame whichever faction they want, as long as they blame the factions. Then the contenders must do something to show that they support ending the crisis that has caused this destruction.
Okay.
Hack would kind of chime in. It's like, well, what do you think would be the most significant, the statue or the core depot?
There are pros and cons to each. Like Solana said, the Sahara statue is a cultural symbol. Its destruction, I believe, would more strongly galvanize public support to ending the crisis and make the factions, the contenders, more sympathetic towards a diplomatic solution. However, it is in the middle of a public plaza during a cultural festival, which means collateral damage will be difficult to avoid and most likely impossible. Though, if you choose the statue, I would impress upon you to at least attempt to mitigate collateral damage.
It doesn't seem like a good option either way.
No.
If we're talking at the faction level, money is really the only language they speak, so the core depot is probably the only thing that'll get the message across anyway.
You'd be surprised. The problem with the core depot is that because of the several corporations that work on the planet, its destruction would be noticeable and extreme in the immediate sense. However, its economic impact would be mostly mitigated within a few weeks, if not a few months.
Well, that mitigation costs more money.
I mean, we don't want to cripple the area or the planet permanently. We just want economic and symbolic damage that will last long enough to get these people to the negotiating table.
And destruction of the core depot will have that effect, which is why it is one of the targets you may choose. However, because its economic
that
impact,
seems ideal.
Liama's not disagreeing with you, but she is pointing out that if you destroy the core depot instead of the statue, the factions will still meet, but it will probably be mostly as a political gesture to the populace, who will be discomforted by the core depot's destruction. They will not be as open to change as they would be if the Geharr statue is destroyed.
So what is the hacker want to know? Like, what is the statue made of? Can we burn it, melt it? I mean, does it have to be? We just have to destroy it. We don't have to blow it up, right?
You bring up a good point. However, its sheer size is the biggest problem. It is a mix of metal and stone, so while it could be conventionally melted down or just pulverized, that would take time.
How big is it?
It is around, and she zooms in on the statue, and it looks like she pulls up a few standard people for measurement. The base itself is a story tall. The statue is 3.
So the statue itself is roughly 30 feet.
Yes.
Imperial. Okay. Well, personally, I don't care personally. Well, killing innocent people isn't something I enjoy or even want to do. Those who can hurt us, I don't care. But destroying the statue is difficult.
Gris has got the right idea. Let's go to the core depot.
So long as the core depot is not populated during this time, then yeah, I say we blow it to Kingdom Come.
Oh yes, and Liama goes, and that is another bonus, and that's another pro in its favor. Because of the Daystar celebrations, the factory is almost completely empty of workers. What remains now is mostly security personnel, and even that's more droids than anyone.
Then we need to evacuate the droids before we blow it up.
Liama looks at you and says, "Oh yes, of course."
All right,
I'm just going to shake my head, like, why is this an afterthought?
It sounds like we've got a plan then.
I guess so. Do we have any way to make it look like one of the factions did this, so it's not just random people?
Well, the problem, though, is that we want all the factions to meet, so we can't pin any one of them, because that'll break down the negotiations.
As long as you don't leave anything that would personally implicate the rebellion or the broker, people will believe whatever they want to believe.
Do you have any Imperial paraphernalia we can leave? And Rock puts up his fingers like evidence?
That would lead to a whole nother situation that I don't believe we are equipped to handle. The last thing we need is the Empire to start having to work the field again. After Patel's death, they seem to have been caught on the back foot.
Oh, okay.
All right, so seems like you're universally behind the core depot, but giving to what Rogesh said earlier, Liama does cut her connection. So whatever you want to talk about before you leave.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah. Part of my issue is that I've been suspecting something's up with Liama right from the start. There was an information leak that happened that shouldn't have happened right at the beginning, and it pointed to someone really high up. And this plan, just something's wrong here.
I know.
It's just very, very suspicious.
We've done some messed up stuff for the broker, but generally our missions for the rebellion haven't really been this, I don't know, explosive. This is odd.
Well, no, it's not that, because yeah, we've done lots of things as a broker or as a team for the broker, but literally going after something where there is known collateral damage of this scale, the fact that it was even put on the table really makes me wonder about Liama. So,
are we off the line with the?
Yeah. She cut the connection.
Okay.
Can we do? And this is where Ragesh turns to Erdogan. Valuable checks on the Queen Sidara statue.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, it's a public monument, so it'd be pretty easy to find information about it. So yeah, especially with Erdogan's talents.
Kayla, are you there?
I think he's there. He didn't go away.
Hey, Kayla, if you're there, your microphone's off. Hey, Kale.
Sorry, I had to go do baby thing for a sec.
No worries. So, Ragesh is a super just not down with Liama right now. She's acting a little bit suspicious, I think. And so we were thinking if you could do a valuable facts check on the Queen Sidara statue.
Oh, do you want a valuable facts check or just a regular lore check? I mean, valuable facts on this statue seems weird because what we're really trying to figure out is just, like how old is it and how culturally significant is it, that sort of thing, right?
Well, yeah, but I think that that's why I want to make sure that we have a triumph, because I think that there's something here that we're missing. And if you do the valuable facts, Gristle he's a smarty pants too, so he could probably do the lore check. Yes, maybe? Gristle or no?
If Jack's up to
Erdo might as well do the lore check, but I mean, if you want to do it just for the purposes of using the valuable facts, then I could try. I don't know.
Can you apply valuable facts to your own checks, though?
No, you can't. You can't apply the triumph from valuable facts to your own check.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe there's some sort of... So are we... Let's see. Maybe Erdo could do a lore check on the statue and then maybe apply some sort of valuable facts to knowing about the factory or the depot.
Is there any...
To see if there's something significant about the depot that might play into whatever... Because if we're really interested in Liama, we'll want to check up on both of these things, right?
Right, but the thing is, the reason I'm so concerned, though, is the fact that this was even put on the table as an option, the Queen Sidara statue, when it's known that it's in the middle of festivities and there could be collateral damage. I mean, this is...
There's got to be something more to it.
Yeah, not only that, but the biggest thing for me is that it's so easy that this could be discovered that the rebellion was behind this, and that'll just make things 10 times worse. So I'm just really surprised that this plan was put on the table.
Can we do a check on her? Can we do... I mean, I don't know if we've done a check on her before, or, you know what I mean? Because she came with 2 people, right? 2 people showed up in this meeting, correct?
Yeah, Solana and Liama. Was there a check done on Liama?
No, we probably should do, like, maybe some sort of knowledge warfare check on her, just to,
that's what Gristle's curious about, is who referred us to this mission in the first place? Has Liama been our only contact so far?
Pretty much.
And who's above her?
Broker. The broker was there to redirect you on the first mission to Liama. Like, they showed up together.
Oh, so
who in the rebellion is actually, like, up from her here? Who's higher on the chain of command?
She
Whose
claims
branch is she under?
Spec Ops.
Yeah, pretty much it would just be Jacob Bidden would be above her, the leader of Spec Ops.
So is there a way that we can do a check on her, or maybe contact one of her higher-ups or something like that?
Yeah, like maybe we should contact Jacob to see if he vets her or not.
After the Blackbird debacle, you got her on guard, so she told you that she was limiting information she filtered to the higher ups because of the intelligence leak you told her about in the first phase.
Well, maybe not an intelligence leak, but maybe just a history of her. Because if anyone would know, it would be him, because chances are he's the one who referred her for that position.
Yeah, what I'm hearing, though, from Jack is that that's not going to be possible, just because we're blocked out. But can we still do a knowledge warfare check on her?
You can, but as a preface, you're not going to have the contribution bonus simply because in this scenario, the attaché is your only source to the rebellion for the moment. Link to the rebellion is a better use of the word.
Well, no, this would be what I'm thinking of is that this would be a check where we're thinking back on things that we've already talked about with Renzi and Spec Force, other members of Spec Ops. I know that they're two separate things, but they do work together sometimes. So this would be our own personal knowledge warfare that built through our close working relationship with the rebellion. So it's not
All right.
us.
Yeah. If you phrase it like that, I can see what you mean. All right, I'll let the contribution boost stand for this then.
Right, cool.
The difficulty of the knowledge warfare check, should you do it, probably just it'd be hard, base hard. I'll upgrade it by her ability. Okay, so it's going to be 3 red and a purple.
3 red and a purple. I only have 1 rank. Does anyone have more than 1 rank in knowledge warfare?
Virgo has 1 rank and 5 intellect and 4 contribution.
Ooh, that sounds great. I'll give you unskilled assistance then. And we should flip. We've got it. I mean, we've got plenty of light side.
You don't have to rub it in.
Yay.
Ooh.
All right. From your dealings with Renzi Tosh and your experience with Spec Ops and Spec Force, you can recall that there was a specific team within Spec Ops led by someone who seems to match Liama's description. They were known for the same sort of operation you're doing now, deep insert, sometimes a long-term op. They have usually been met with success, but there have been reports that Liama goes a step too far, time it here and there. She doesn't seem to rack up anything that gets her, puts her on notice, but there are always in her reports, like, ooh.
Or puts her under suspicion or under scrutinization?
Not suspicion or no, it's more like we like what you did and you got the results we asked for, but we didn't exactly like the way you did it. But she seems to have a good record, but there have been notes here and there of going a bit too far in places. And it also looks like she led a team and then all of a sudden she's leading you, but there doesn't seem to be anything in the file that tells you what happens. There doesn't seem to be anything you can remember, anything in any files you have that tells you what happened to the team she was originally leading.
Okay.
So it's just she's leading Team A, then there's a gap or there's nothing, and then it's just she's our point of contact.
Yeah, there isn't even that much of a chronological gap, but there's still a gap.
I want to talk to Blackbird and see if she knows anything about Liama.
Ooh, all right. This is summing up an image I have buried somewhere else. Hold on. Actually, yeah, I'll summon the picture from elsewhere, but let's go ahead and say, yeah, you could. She seems to have taken up residence in the Tev Biska now, in one of the bigger suites. So you can find her quite easily, and when you arrive, she's like, oh, what do you want?
We're having some doubts about our rebel contact. Are you familiar with a rebel Spec Ops agent named Liama?
She squints for a moment and just seems to mouth the words Liama over in her head.
She may have gone by different names. Bothan, Spec Ops, generally in charge of embedded teams, and I'm actually starting to wonder if she was connected to the rebel cell that we took out.
Silea, who is, oh boy, and this goes back to the last mission where all stuff happened. Anyway, Blackbird, to those not in the know, is Silea Duvel, Macron's sister, who introduced herself but has been called by other intelligence assets the agents ran across earlier as Blackbird, so now they're one and the same here. Anyway, she shrugs and says, Nosh, my information about your arrival was something I simply pieced together from some guesswork and what the other assets you already took out acquired. I don't know much about this, Liana, if anything.
Okay.
I have a question for you about the Daon Liberation Front. Did that exist before the Queen's disappearance?
No, but it grew rapidly. It seemed to have appeared, probably just after 3 weeks after the Queen's disappearance. But then again, the other contenders for the throne showed up almost immediately after she disappeared. So.
Was the Queen herself Daon?
Yes. The royal family is all Daon.
And there are no issues. There were no issues between the people in the royal family before the Queen's disappearance.
Well, you always had.
That you were aware of.
You always had some people who chafed under the monarchy, but Nahana was respected a lot as a enlightened ruler. She was quite popular.
Okay.
But
very well. Thank you.
All right, so you've investigated Liama and tried to get some more information out of Said. Leah, are you going to do the rolls for the 2 locations now, or?
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, mid-bite. For the Queen Geharr statue, that is going to be an average lore check, which I'll upgrade. I said upgrade, upgrade, upgrade.
Okay, I just want to roll.
Oh, darn this roller. Flip.
Does anyone want to assist?
Sure. I'll give you unskilled assistance.
Since we're doing these now, I'll stim you up. Oh, there you go. Because it seems like we're getting a lot of the knowledge out of the way right now. So
Yeah.
The core depot is going to be a hard education, by the way.
Oh shoot, I need to roll difficulty. Just a second.
yeah, and another intellect.
All right, well, that certainly doesn't hamper your success, but it does take away an advantage. All right, so for Queen Geharr, she was the ruler of Ord-Gimel when it integrated back into the Republic. It seems that it was originally colonized by humans from the Republic, but communication dropped out in the early days of Republican expansion. Queen Geharr was the ruler. Geez, I don't have the book in front of me, but I do believe it was millennia ago when the planet officially reintegrated. The royal family traces its lineage to her, and she was. Oh, what's a good approximation? If you'll allow me to metagame this a bit, she was basically the Abraham Lincoln of Ord-Gimel, widely respected and believed to be a truly great leader. There is almost universal appreciation of her, even among the anti-monarchists. They respect her as a ruler, they just didn't want her to be a ruler.
So respect as a political figure, disrespect as the title.
Yes, that's a good way to phrase it.
So could Erdo make a valuable facts check about, say, the sort of trade or exports that they do on Ord-Gimel? Maybe give us more information about the depot? Or
yes.
help with any
Yes, you may. That would be, I'd say, knowledge. I'm torn between Outer Rim or education. I'd say education.
Okay.
Oh, wouldn't it be
Yeah.
more just to never mind.
Okay. So that's
it's-
a fact.
Yes, its chief exports are industrial goods. Hyperspace component seems to be chief among those. Ord-Gimel, as you know from the Gazetteer, has lighter than normal gravity, which allows for manufacturing that would usually need to take place in orbital stations to be done on the surface. So this has allowed it to become quite the economic powerhouse. The SotB Corporation seems to have the majority share of the hyperspace components production, but it does seem to also share that field with minor corporations also.
Cool.
All right, and to reiterate, it's a hard. I was going to flip it. The Destiny's giving me the business. Hard education check to find out the Core Depot's background.
Would that really be education, though? Because education is fields of study, whereas Outer Rim is something that would be more specific to what.
Yeah, but the problem is there's a lot of crossover between outer. I'm trying to kind of split the difference between outer and inner core worlds, because this seems to share a lot with both, especially since it has core world influences.
Unfortunately, there's no like knowledge industry or knowledge economics skill.
Got it.
Oh, man. Was Erdo going to roll that, or is that being passed off to someone else?
Oh yeah, someone else has to do it. So Gristle, I'm assuming.
Oh, sure. What was the difficulty?
Hard. No upgrades.
Hard. Okay. Anyone want to assist?
Sure. Actually, and I can stim you, since it's harder for you to stim yourself.
Oh.
Rock will assist.
If you want to, sure.
Because why not?
All right, 1 second for the stim check, and I will take strain to make that easy for me.
Rock's like, that must be a building of some sort.
Oh. Yeah, screw it, we get a lot.
Yes, give in to hate or curiosity. All right. And then you have the triumph and the valuable facts. The Core Depot is like, was it Solana or Liama? One of them said is the main assembling point for industrial components from all other industrial districts in Geharr, where they are finally assembled before being shipped off-world as a chief export. It looks like not only is it part factory, it's also part spaceport. SotB, actually, this is where the hyperspace components they produce in their own industrial district are finally assembled into full hyperdrives before they are shipped off-world. Sometimes they're actually installed in loaders they bring to Ord Gimel to have them installed cheaply. Let's see here. The Triumph. You already know it's going to be low, if not empty, of people because of the celebrations. You know that in the spaceport portion, even during the celebration, traffic is still ongoing. Because people from off-world don't care about the planetary celebrations. They just want to get their stuff and go. So while the depot itself may be mostly empty and automatic, ships are still coming and going all through the night.
That sounds like a very valuable fact to know.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I need to backtrack a bit to the original briefing. There are explosives already have already been sent into the basement for you to use if you wish to destroy the Queen Geharr statue. For the Core Depot, it looks like you need to overload the depot's main power generator to cause the demolition.
All right, looks like Core Depot is the choice.
But it seems like it's too easy a target. Like, given the option between destroying a statue in the middle of their celebrations, or or practically uninhabited Core Depot, like factory type thing.
I mean,
I don't think
go ahead.
I don't think that's an easy choice. I mean, if we destroy the core depot, we're taking out these people's one of their, we're taking out a decent chunk of their economy. Whereas
True.
with the Sadari statue, it's just it's a symbolic thing.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. It's putting innocent lives at risk versus not putting innocent lives at risk. That's what I mean.
Do robots not have innocent lives?
Well, the robots are, but most organics are only really concerned with other organic life.
Well, I wouldn't use that too much as a metric to compare the two, because there are ways that we can clear people out of the way if we really need to. A biological weapon scare. I mean, all sorts of things. So the fact that, I think that still it's just destroying something that's so symbolic. I really don't think that that's going to have the same sort of impact that Liama thinks that it might.
Well, unfortunately, it appears Savak has been outvoted.
The statue isn't imperial, Savak. It's okay.
He's kind of in the same boat as Liama. It might be, in some regards, it might be a step too far, but I think Savak definitely would feel along the lines of what our mission is to get these people roused up, and I think that'd be the best way to rouse them.
Well, I know organics like jobs, and if we take away their jobs, I think they might get mad enough by blowing them up. The jobs, not the people. Okay. So
No, I mean that's a good point. I mean, we probably should talk about this a little bit more. I mean, what do you guys think, Gristle and Erdo
could we not do both?
and Hack?
Like if
I think at the end of the day, no one's going to care a whole lot about the statue. You blow up a statue, what does that really do? Doesn't affect a whole lot. People might be like, oh man, they blew up a statue. But it doesn't really have any lasting effects beyond, I don't know, being symbolic, but the symbolism doesn't really have any real impact. Whereas destroying a massive factory, that's essential to a lot of people's livelihood and different things like that.
I get that, and I actually do agree with you, but the thing with the lore check, can we also glean from that just how culturally significant this is? Like, what would happen from the success that we got in the lore check if that were destroyed?
Oh, I believe the best thing I can come up with is a real-world simile. It would be like if you destroyed the Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, and throw in one more monument just for fun in the U.S.
Statue of Liberty?
Oh, yes, perfect. Yeah, that one too.
all sort of lumped together into one. Okay.
Symbolism is immensely important. I mean, I can't like the culture and everything. I mean, so I'm trying to gather my thoughts a little better. But I mean, imagine if someone had to like destroy the Statue of Liberty. What do you think people's reactions would be?
Well, see, and this is the thing, though, and I'm agreeing with you too. But that's why Ragesh doesn't want to do that, because I really do think that by destroying that statue, it's going to make things a lot harder in the long run for everyone involved. You know, I think that the rebellion is really short-sighted on destroying something that culturally significant. I mean, what do you think, Erdo? Hello, Kale? So I'm voting for the Core Depot, partly because I actually do think that the Sidara statue will be significant, but in a way that can cause a lot of blowback. I'm still concerned that we'll be implicated in that. And if something should happen with the Core Depot where word gets out, I don't think that would be as bad as the statue. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to vote for Core Depot.
Yeah, Yes, it is, but just between us, shush.
Okay, I only recognize it because I'm playing through the third one. Okay. Yeah, Core Depot just because organics tend to get really mad if other organics blow up for needless reasons. But it also gives Rock a chance to try to evacuate the droids and less collateral damage. Innocent people he doesn't like killing.
There's going to be blowback either way. I mean, one, we blow out a cultural a monument, something that can theoretically be rebuilt. But I mean, and even the core depot can rebuild, I suppose. But if we take out the core depot and they find out, then I mean, how many people does it employ?
Well, this is the thing. The core depot can be rebuilt, and there's nothing specific on how it's built. We destroy that statue. That statue's destroyed forever.
Oh, yes, and the advantage you rolled would reveal this. The Queen Geharr statue was built at her death, so it is thousands of years old.
Yeah, so, that's... Yeah, it could work, or I think it would work in galvanizing people, but like I said, I think that's just way too much of a gamble and I don't want to destroy something that old.
Yeah. Rock will agree with Ragesh that the blowback from destroying something like that is insane. Like, he knows, Rock can summarize that people like things that are really, really old, that have a lot of significance to their government. Whereas I think Liama said, like, even if we destroy the core depot, like, their actual, like, GDP would drop for maybe like a month and a half, because then all the other factories would have to pick up the slack before they'd finally be able to start rebuilding it. So we stymie their economic progress, or their economic workings, for a little bit, but long enough for them to actually have to take notice and do something about it.
Right. Okay, so can we put it to a vote then, guys?
Yeah, I think Rock's going for a core depot.
Yeah, I put mine in.
I think at this point, if you haven't won over Savant, like he's the only one, voting for the statue.
Okay.
So it looks like overwhelming for the core depot. All right, then. Does Hack want to get a word in edgewise, or is he just going to go with the group?
Again, Hack doesn't really care if you blow up the statue or the factory. His mission is to get these people to the table. So, whatever's going to work, whatever is easiest.
All right. Sounds like the core depot it is. So you can easily make your way to it. It's everyone's concerned with the celebrations. You see fireworks going off here and there from the uppermost spires of Geharr, and you reach the outskirts of the core depot, and you see you do see, as you found out from your earlier research, starships in the far end still lifting off and touching down. It doesn't look like that heavy traffic. Maybe one ship every 20 minutes comes or goes. However, it does look like there is a perimeter set up around the depot, and it's being patrolled. It looks like 2 droids, and they're spaced pretty close together between the patrols.
Okay.
Are there no organic security guards in sight?
Give me, let's see, it's dark, but it's a city, so it's well lit. I'll let that just negate the boosts. Give me a hard perception check.
Get a couple boosts from standing next to Erdo.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And you said it was a hard?
Yep.
All right.
All right. You don't notice any organics on the perimeter, but you do happen to see a couple small groupings of people in the facility. It looks like they're watching the festivities from their workplace. They kind of look like middle managers.
All Dion or a mix of Dion and human?
Yeah, you see several species. Daon, some Celestins, and a human.
Okay. But the outer security is all droids then.
Yes.
It looks like we're going to have to nab one of these droids. Or both.
So long as we don't permanently damage them.
All right. It looks like there are two ways you can do this. There is, you can see this on your speeders before you even disembark, a tangible no-fly zone over the core depot. If any civilian craft goes over it, they are immediately switched to autopilot and flown off the facility. However, it seems to be behind the perimeter fence. And then there's also, you could just land before you hit the no-fly zone and climb up the wall, but there is a wall you need to climb before you can get to the perimeter.
Well, climbing the wall is not too bad. Rock has climbing gear. He can always go first and just leave the gear so it'll help people get up, and he can help people over. Is the wall outside the perimeter fence, is that patrolled as well?
No, it looks like it's kind of a plateau area. You need to first climb up, and then you're pretty much at the perimeter there. But the base of the wall isn't patrolled.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Like it looks like a few poor people just hang out there for fun anyway.
were we given any like blueprints or like where we're supposed to go? Is there like an underground or some back door that we can go instead of?
It's a good idea.
It looks like it's a facility that's mostly built out and down. So you actually can't. There's no way you can just drive up to it. You have to be specifically let through the no-fly zone and land.
Okay. So you said there's like a sheer, like a cliff face or whatever, or a wall, and then it plateaus out, and that's where the perimeter fence begins, right? At the top of it?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where the patrols are, right?
Yeah.
So we climb up that wall, and we have the possibility of popping in front of two droids who are patrolling, correct?
How about this though? So we start out with that plan. However, Ragesh is going to turn to Hack and say, do you think that you can hack into a land speeder and override their protocol and maybe do some extra work on the car or the land speeder to make it look like it's malfunctioning so that I can get in with maybe some other people, we fly over, and then we basically have a mini wreck and lie our way in and then provide a distraction for the less stealthy people to find a way in. But at least that way we'll have some people already inside.
I could say he doesn't need to think. He knows he can do it.
All right, yeah, you can do this on your own land speeders. It doesn't look like the modifications that they were made for smugglers included anything that would go past no fly zone. So yes, it is going to require a little slicing first. Let's see, to disable the override, I'm gonna say it's going to be a hard computers check that'll upgrade once. But I'm also going to put in 2 setbacks there.
And specifically, I want to make sure that it makes it look like the override is what caused us to crash. Like there was some sort of malfunction or mismatch, and it basically turns us into a pylon or something.
Okay.
So instead of just overriding it, you kind of want to make it malfunction, or do you just want to put it in a way that okay? All right.
I think maybe like block any sort of incoming signals to the Navi computer on the land speeder, and then so that way it doesn't have that automatic override where it's turn around and go away, but rather than like have it malfunction and sort of crash in air quotes somewhere inside the depot.
Yeah, do we know what this no-fly zone is enforced by? Do they have turrets, or they have like their own escort craft, or what?
Average perception check, if you want to look. As
I
far
would
as you know, it just
certainly
simply
look.
exists. You'd have to look to see what defenses enforce it. Okay. It looks like the main control tower, that seems to be both coordinating the spaceport and broadcasting the no-fly zone, has several turrets on its crown. And plus, you can probably also assume that the droids patrolling the perimeter are also automatically alerted should they be notified of any unauthorized crossing of the no-fly zone.
Yeah, Savok's gonna pipe up. Like, what's the purpose of this? As soon as you guys crash, they're gonna have people at you.
That's the
So
whole point, so that people who are much less likely to talk their way out of stuff like Rock can get in. In other words, we need to make some sort of distraction because we're probably not going to be able to get 6 people stealthing into this whole facility. Unless you think we can do that, but what I'm thinking of is to create a distraction.
but then
Maybe
when
like
you
clip the control tower or something.
Oh, once we're in there, then what I'm thinking of is that we'll be detained.
Oh yeah.
so then should
The old get captured plan.
wouldn't you want the less stealthy people in the speeder then? Because they have less chance of stealthing, but they have a better chance of being detected. So when it makes sense
Well,
to put,
I mean, yes and no, but Rock would be too suspicious. A big droid like
Yeah,
that, that's
I would
not going to work.
I'd be bolted immediately.
And I would be in it, even though I'm pretty stealthy, just because I can try to talk my way out of stuff. And once I'm in, well, I mean, we're assuming a lot here, but it's cinematic. So, I'm hoping that we'll be detained and then brought into whatever Rent-A-Cop, whatever security detail that they have inside the facility while the rest of you guys get in another way. I mean, in other words, we kind of need the more sneaky people in that, because if I'm taken into some sort of brig or something like that, I have a high chance of getting out of there. But I might not be able to cover someone else who doesn't have a lot of stealth. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well,
yeah, I was just trying to figure out why the less stealthy people would be trying to do the infiltrating as opposed to the crashing. But yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's because the main eye and the main attention will be drawn on those who made it past their no-fly zone and then crashed. And so maybe 2 droids going missing from their perimeter wouldn't be as immediately investigated as them. So they're pulling off like a nice big distraction so that those of us who can't exactly sneak in have a better chance of getting inside under their radar because they're busy focused on them.
Yeah, and another thing too is that Hack doesn't have to come with me. He can rig this up. I fly in, and then he'll still be with you guys so that you can nab those droids and then reprogram them, or at least, I know that Rock will be like, no, but
no reprogram. We tell them they have the day off, and then we tell all the other droids that they can go celebrate the.
Well, I mean, we're going to still have to resist some of their programming. These droids aren't just going to say, okay, I've got the day off.
Yeah, he's the one that's got to do that, but not like reprogramming or messing with their core beings of who they are, but just convincing them they have the day off.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So with this plan, Gristle, do you want to come with?
So the people in the speeder just end up being the distraction, right?
Yeah. Well, distraction, but then also we potentially will, depending on how things go, might also be very well placed inside the facility too. Maybe just in a different part.
And the idea is that the other people infiltrate, and then we end up meeting up again.
Yes.
It's a plan with a lot of big ifs.
Well, every plan has a lot of big ifs, and every plan I think we come up with is going to be a bad plan, but
Well, I think
a bad plan is better than no plan at all.
refining a plan is all about removing as many ifs as possible.
Savok nods. He suggests that then he mentions that he probably should go with the speeder just in case, because he's probably the second best fighter here, and he's a lot less suspicious than Rock.
Hmm.
I think it would need to be the more talky people, though. Only because with the other group, I mean, you guys would be more of the main force that gets in. And so let's say that, just theoretically, let's ditch the idea with the speeder. The difficulty would be getting past the perimeter and having to deal with the security bots without people knowing. That's the big difficulty, and that's why I think that having a distraction of that nature, where there's literally a crash inside the facility, all eyes are going to be on that.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Hack tells everybody he's already made the program, so.
Oh yes, Hack was easily able to cut into the Navicomputer, and it looks like it's a hardwired connection between the broadcaster, the Navicomputer, and the autopilot, and he could just physically cut that. Well, he did.
He looks at everybody and it's like, man, I didn't know y'all really talked a lot. I mean, wow.
Yeah, so now once you fly into the fly zone, it will just have no effect on you, and you can do whatever you want to make it look like an accident.
Awesome.
Neato.
All right, so are we going with that plan? Some people flying being the distraction while the other people sneak by?
I think so.
Where do you Hack look at the group and was like, where do you want me at again?
Don't be in the speeder because we're going to need you to do some programming on the droids, or we might have to.
You're going to be with me. And Rocco's going to throw his arm around Hack.
Okay.
So
All right.
Who's going to be in the land speeder then? So, I mean, Gristle, are you down with this plan? Or I mean, I'm all ears if there's an alternative that you've got in mind.
No, I mean, the big difficulty is just finding a way for everyone to get in there, get past all the defenses, and be inside.
Mm-hmm.
And the land speeder creates the distraction and does that at the same time, kind of. I think it may be better if Gristle stays outside now with the land speeder, just because if those people do get found, he can try to come up with something himself and maybe mitigate things. It isn't just
That's
a
a good
dead
point.
end for one team.
Okay.
Well, Rock
So-
is not charming, but he's fairly intimidating, and if they're found by droids, he can always try to leadership his way out. Like, try to convince them that we're here to liberate them so they can go enjoy.
Well, also
the day.
remember though, Rock, not all droids are susceptible
yeah.
to that.
That's true.
One thing Hack would want to know is like their alarm system or their security once we get in. You know, how does that? Is there some kind of check that we can do that we'll know?
I imagine you'd get that from the schematics. It seems like the only alarm system is rigged to from the perimeter to the control tower. Once you get past the perimeter, as long as you don't do something that's glaringly obvious so people inside can report it, you won't have to deal with anything automatic. But someone can still just call for help.
But right now, there's no way I can disconnect that or bypass.
No, it's hardlined. The droids themselves may be able to call. They may have remote access, but you won't be able to just hack it in from where you are now.
So there's like a fence or a physical obstruction that's hardwired to a connection to where if it's breached, it contacts the control tower immediately?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of tough. Can we see like about how tall the fence is?
Well, the kind of cliff that leads up to the plateau is probably, I'd say, medium range, and the fence is, I guess you could consider it engaged. It's just like 15 feet. I guess that's short.
Like how? So after we scale the plateau, how far is it to go like up and over the fence? Or how tall?
Yeah,
is
15 feet. The fence itself is 15 feet. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's not that big. Rock can make it over fairly easily, and then because you don't necessarily have to cut through, and then just climbing gear over, let everyone crawl over. It shouldn't be too difficult. Especially with Ragesh's distraction. He's good at distractions.
And actually, I want to see if maybe there's, well, I guess I won't be able to tell. Well, actually, can I try to do a perception check to see if there is any, I don't know, auxiliary power for the fence or security systems? Not the main power, but at least maybe something I could crash into that would damage power, at least momentarily.
Some kind of like backup generator, or you
Or
could
not
probably
even
try
backup
to
generator,
find
just
their main grid,
yes,
their
something
main
that
transformer grid.
yeah.
I wonder. You could definitely look to see it, but how would you know when you find it?
Well, I guess whatever I crash into is going to be something big because whoever I'm with, we're going to need to jump out.
It would also probably be surrounded by a fence and covered in warning signs.
Yeah.
So, is there any way that we can pull up a schematic?
You would have You would have kind of a rough cut of one that Liama gave you that seems to focus more on this is how you approach the power generator from where just from outside the facility.
So can I program the speeder to actually head that way so it's fairly easy to hit?
Well, the one power generator you need to blow up, and that's buried. It's in
I get what
the
you're
facility.
I'll look for whatever is the biggest, most shiny looking thing that I can ram into.
All right. Where you are, it looks like just a little bit past the perimeter. There's looks like a construction crane.
So how do we want to split this up? So Savak did make a good point about he's pretty tough in melee, but he's not as suspicious looking as Rock. So maybe Ragesh, Savak, and Erdo are on the land speeder.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. And
right.
all three of us have pretty good athletics and or coordination checks when it comes to jumping out. So I think we'll be okay.
And Rock can help Hack and Gristle because he's got the climbing gear and he's good with athletics.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
All right. You wouldn't even need to roll piloting since what you're aiming for is big and easy. So I'm just going to jump straight to the coordination athletics check to jump out. You probably would be doing it low enough to the ground where you don't have to worry about fall damage, but just so you can do it in time, I'd say you have enough warning. This is part of the plan. Average athletics or coordination you may pick. And don't forget that due to Orgimmo's lighter than normal gravity, you all get a boost. Oh, and something else that for Gristle and Rock, any brawn check aside from resilience or coordination check has a boost because of the gravity.
Oh, neat.
So as I'm heading in with the speeder, I'm on the comms and just saying, "Hey, what are you doing? What? No, not towards there. Hey!" And so I'm yelling at the people in the core depot. Your program is malfunctioning. My speeder, I just bought this speeder.
Still has the sticker on it.
All right. If you're willing to consume that advantage, I can say they hear you. All right. So Rogesh is able to leap free with no damage. How about everyone else on the speeder?
And actually, I'd like to use however many advantages it takes to, I'm yelling in pain on the ground. I make it look like the landing was much worse than it actually was.
Ragesh is playing possum.
Or soccer penalty. Oh, my ankle. Ah.
Who else is going to roll for the
Erdo and
speeder?
Savak.
Erdo was
Yeah,
on
so Erdo is already on the speeder, so he needs to go ahead and roll his average athletics. And we also need one for Savak. All right. All right, that was good.
Hey, Savak, are you there?
There we go. All
Yeah,
right.
sorry, the dice roller's acting funky.
Gotta love how it's bugging out at the worst time. All right. Yes, you are all able to roll out and appear injured if you want to, but you actually are not.
So actually, as I land, I'm chewing on Denarium root, and I pull out a syringe and I'm jabbing myself. So to make it look like it's a stim pack, but I'm screaming in pain.
All right. One droid patrol, which is 2 droids, approaches you. They actually have weapons drawn, and they appear to be trying to keep a beat on all of you. Stop. Don't move. Relinquish weapons.
Absolutely. Here you go. And gosh, I don't even have any weapons on me.
Yeah, Odo just holds his hands up.
All right. Savak, if anything on him, he should relinquish.
My reek blades are in the speeder. Should I hand them to him, or?
Oh, well, you might have wanted to take those out since the speeder crashed.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that.
You do have a lot of advantage. I can say you got them, but they are weapons.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I hand them to him regardless.
All right. The one of them seems to go and collect the weapons, while the other one looks at Rogesh, and he doesn't say anything, but he's just looking at you.
I demand to speak to the manager. Whoever took control of my land speeder is responsible for this damage.
Droid still doesn't speak, but stands up and looks at the speeder. Then he looks at the other droid, who has collected Savak's weapons.
I start snapping my fingers in front of the droid and say, I know that you can hear me, whoever you are that is linked in with these droids. Hey, I want compensation.
Can Erdo make a valuable facts check to see if he knows something about the law on this planet, or maybe galactic common law that would infer liability to the owner?
What kind of law student would I be if I said no? You think that'd be education or outer rim? It does. Okay, it does pertain to the planet, so I'd say outer rim. Yeah, outer rim check.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. You know that the core depot, it has a special immunity given its economic status within the planet. The no-fly zone is a enter at your own risk. They do not incur liability for faults in the autopilot system.
Okay. I'm still going to be saying what I'm saying.
All right, but the droid still looks at you mute. However, would you guys want to ascend now or wait a bit longer? The people at the bottom.
I probably should have said that while we got their attention.
Yeah, I mean, we used it as a distraction, so.
All right, yeah. So the droid
Rock will go first with the climbing gear.
It's actually a smooth face, so you'd have to hook it up to the fence. Does it go that long?
Yeah, I'm sure. Let me double check the description for the climbing gear. I'm fairly certain it's quite long. $180 for Edge of the Empire. Let me double check.
All right. At the same time,
I'm pretty certain it's long enough. And if not, Rock can just sort of use his natural brawn to create handholds so he climbs up, and then hooks the climbing gear to something.
That's the RP I wanted to hear. Perfect. Yep. Yeah. Hard athletics, which you do get a boost to.
Oh, come on.
Do you have anything that would reroll athletics?
I don't believe so. Let me check. So far, nope, nothing that rerolls athletics.
All right, so yeah, you're punching away to try and create the handholds on the stone, but the stone is actually fighting back pretty hard. You're finding that you're cracking it and making divots, but nothing that any person your size would be able to actually hold on to. However, for those advantages, I would say that you actually, no one's noticed. The bums are too distracted or spiced out of their minds, and you don't see any reaction from up above.
Is there?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is there a door that we can just go to?
Like I said, the only way you can get into the core depot conventionally is by flying in and having authorization to go through the no-fly zone.
We have to climb up a sheer rock face in order to get to the perimeter fence from the ground.
So only Rock can do this? Can anyone else try?
Oh, anyone can try, but it's it's going to be the same athletics check. In fact, Hack should be able to definitely try it with his repulsor fist.
Just kind of Wolverine or Colossus your way up.
Yeah, he doesn't make as many handholds as Rock was going to on his way up, but Hack is able to definitely just punch like a nice big hole every few feet up. So as long as you're springy, you should be able to get him. And now Hack is at the top. You notice that the droids are still concerned with the crash that has taken place, so they haven't noticed you. With the handholds Hack has made on his way up, anyone can climb now with the same difficulty. I limited mostly to Hack and Rock because of their special punchy power.
If Gristle wants, he can sort of jump on Rock's back, and Rock will sort of scale the cliff again. He's more confident now that since Hack has made more handholds.
Nah, I mean he'll do it himself. So it's still a hard one just to climb up it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man.
Yeesh.
I'm going to say you're caught hanging halfway. It looks like the next one up is just too far from you to reach, and I don't think you feel like jumping to try and reach it. So you're kind of stuck halfway up the wall. You've made progress, but you haven't been noticed. You obviously haven't have any sound to be detected, but now you're kind of stuck.
Can Rock try? Since Rock's still at the bottom, right? Because he didn't make it.
Yeah.
Up there. Can Rock try to follow up after Gristle then? And like.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to pick up Gristle and continue the climb, I'm going to tag on to setback.
Yeah, he'll try to do that.
Just boosts me up to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Oi, Faye.
So Hack would say, "Hey, Rock, can you just hand me the rope?"
Yeah, with that advantage, I'd say he could just toss it to you.
Rock will throw the climbing gear up, and he's gonna say, "This gravity is so weird. I'm not used to being this light."
So I'm gonna look for a place where I can tie it and help everybody up, if it's possible.
The perimeter fence you're at is that plenty of places you could latch it to.
Okay, I'll latch it and then I'll throw it to Gristle. He's more fragile.
That's going to make the climb up into an average check.
All right. There we go.
All right, Gristle's up. Rock may now try as well. In the distance, you actually hear a speeder coming from the control tower. You actually can see some headlights, too, in the distance.
Heading towards... Oh, I can't see. But average difficulty?
Yes. All right, you're all up to the fence. It looks like the land speeder is probably halfway from the control tower to the crash site, and one of the droids looks at it. So the group at the crash speeder could probably assume it called them, or it called it. All right, so you are now at the base of the fence, climbing over it. Especially now, I can easily assume you can throw the climbing gear up. That's just going to be an easy check, but I will upgrade that for all of you.
Okay.
Okie doke.
So here's Rock. And once Rock's over, he's going to try to find something large to hide behind.
All right. It actually looks like there is plenty of equipment after like a small no man's land between the fence and the depot. You could easily dash into that, especially with all that advantage.
Okay.
And by the time you do that, the land speeder arrives, and it actually looks like it's being piloted by another guard droid, the same model as the ones that have been holding, basically, the crash speeder group here. The droid gestures at the speeder, and he's like, "You will come with us," and it looks like it's trying to help Rogesh up.
So I'm like, careful, careful. Look at this. And I show my signet ring. I am Eno Pawapa, the Major Domo of Thala the Hutt of Desilogic. I'm a very important person. I demand to speak to your manager, and I'm getting all huffy and stuffy about that. Blah, blah, blah.
Status irrelevant. Breach requires investigation.
So I limp along with him to the land speeder.
All right, and the other droid is also taking both Savak and Erdo onto the speeder with him. Yeah, if no one resists, they hop on. It looks like the land speeder immediately launches up, and OBS just flashed at me. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, the land speeder takes off and looks like it's heading straight to the control tower. Meanwhile, back with this infiltration team, it looks like after the perimeter and a little bit of just storage space, the depot pretty much opens up. It looks like they were really dependent on that no-fly zone and perimeter security. All of the machines are actually still working, but it appears they are automated. No one's here aside from the group.
Keep your heads down. If anyone approaches us, let me handle it. Let's find whatever system we were supposed to find and get hack into it quick.
I will remind you, just for the hell of it, I feel like being a nice guy, Rogesh did spot a team of what appear to be managers somewhat ahead of you. They were distracted. It looks like they're looking at Daystar celebrations on the TV or holo projector. So it doesn't look like they'll be in your way, but they are, in the depot.
So we need to find some way to get them out of the depot.
If you wanna.
So I'm gonna leave that to Hack.
Or to avoid him. Yeah, does Hack have something that can sense? Can his scanner limb sense people? Or like movement?
Well, no, I mean once Hack gets in the system, if he has like administrative rights, sort of distribute a facility-wide thing where it's like, it's on automation. Everyone go to the statue for the Daystar celebration.
Yeah, I'm just worrying about getting to the console first.
Oh,
he doesn't have a scanner limb anymore. He took that off.
Well, speaking of managers, though, where are we being taken?
It looks like the speeder is directly going towards the control tower.
Okay. And that's not where the managers are, or it is?
You don't know, but it looks like that's where the droid's taking you.
Where were we able to see these guys then when we found out?
I said middle managers, and they were just in the depot. It looks like in a warehouse further up ahead of the infiltration
okay,
team.
got it. All right.
Yeah, you were too far away from the control tower to see anything.
Okay.
All right, so let's find a computer terminal for Hack to get into.
So what are we going to do about the managers? We're going to just knock them out?
Well, no, once you get into the system, you submit a facility-wide message relieving everyone of their duties for the Daystar celebration since it's fully automated.
And until then, just try to avoid them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do either of you want the stealth field? Like, want to borrow it? Are you not confident in your ability to sneak around?
Ooh.
Definitely not confident, because he's like a 6-foot-plus gleaming black metal man.
Yeah, I think hiding rock might be a little bit of a better idea. I think Hack can at least pass himself off.
And if not, we'll just knock him out, right?
Yeah. So Gristle will give Rock the stealth field. So just be careful with it. Don't push it too hard.
Or I just say, Rock, you go in there stealthy and bang heads, and why even sneak past when we don't have to?
Well, if there are heads,
If there are heads to bang, I'll bang them together, but
make sure we don't run into anyone that we have to,
so
bang their heads.
Actually, I think Rock was the original owner of the stealth field before he sold it to Key, and then it made its way around. So he's familiar with it. So he puts it on.
One. Isn't the same one.
Oh, it isn't the same one?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind then. So he'll put it on, he'll activate it, and then he'll go a sneak in a boot trying to find a computer terminal for hack. So would that be vigilance to find it, because I know what I'm looking for? Or would it be perception?
Oh, this is interesting, because the thing is, there are actually terminals all about, but the second hack gets up to most of them, it looks like they're specifically pertaining to the devices that are currently operating, like they're just diagnostic systems.
We were told about like a specific access. I think we had to access her though, right?
Well, the thing, as far as you know, all you need to do is go to the power generator and get it to overload. Something relatively simple. Regarding system-wide control, it doesn't look like you're seeing any terminals that give you something that gives you access to the core depot in general. It looks like all these terminals are specific to the systems that you can pretty much see right in front of you.
So they only can. So the factory is fully automated, but each of the terminals only has control. It may have control over that one spot, but wouldn't they all need to be connected to a greater network in case one of the like say smelting factory A suffers a malfunction? Wouldn't there be some sort of error system put in place to radio or to contact the main hub or control tower or whatever that there was a malfunction or something there? So it's even though each system's independent, there should be a connection to a greater network, if anything, just for troubleshooting and error for troubleshooting.
Anyone in that team give me an average computers check. And it can't be downgraded by specific abilities. It's more of a knowledge about computers than slicing.
Who wants to do it? Want me?
Sounds like a job for hack.
That does sound like a job for hack.
Average computer.
Each closed system is indeed closed. It looks like this is why the facility required people in the first place. Whenever a diagnostic subroutine, which are constantly running on these systems, detects a fault, it shuts down the system and flags itself for personal attendance. It doesn't seem to broadcast anything. It just seems to put out. You see a light on top of the terminal. It seems like it just turns that light on, and someone personally comes by and see what's wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, it'd take too long. It'd be a huge pain in the ass to go to each individual terminal and have it try to broadcast some kind of message for that thing.
Yeah. I mean, and we know where we need to go, so we might as well just head toward the power generator and then keep an eye out for whatever along the way.
So Rock will scout ahead of the other two and kind of give them some kind of signal or motion or whatever for them to move up, so long as the way is clear. Keeping an eye out for other droids or personnel.
As you move ahead, did you notice some labor droids moving between? It seems like where the conveyor belts are forced to stop, labor droids do the rest of the moving from here to there. But aside from that, you're not seeing anyone.
Okay.
And as you move deeper and deeper into the facility, that doesn't seem to change. Now to go back to the speeder team, the land speeder that has picked you up has arrived at the control tower, and you are escorted into it looks like a central hub. You can see about a dozen Dions working here and there. It looks like most of them are looking out the window to see some fireworks in the distance, but as the droids bring you in, one of them breaks off and walks towards you. He appears to be wearing a nicer uniform, and he just gestures at you, and he appears annoyed. Like, why are you here?
You caused my speeder to malfunction with whatever protocol you used to take control of it, and it crashed. This is an absolute outrage.
Well, guess what you shouldn't have been doing, sir? The autopilot beacon does not broadcast outside the no-fly zone, which means guess what you were doing? Flying in the no-fly zone. We, according to Royal Proclamation 64, subparagraph 2, yada yada yada, the core depot and its operating corporations are not liable for any injury sustained while intruder is intruded upon the no-fly zone. What all you've done for me is given me a mountain of paperwork about how I have to report an intruder breach during Daystar celebrations. So thanks for that.
Speaking of paperwork, you might have even more when it comes to this whole liability immunity that you have. I happen to be the major domo for Thala the Hutt, who is here on vacation, and you have just disturbed a very important event for him. I'm not there with him, and this is just, and so I just start to go on and on and on about Hutt protocol and blah 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 and economic sanctions and just all this stuff.
How loudly do you say this?
Oh, really loudly. I'm just like,
okay, go ahead and roll me. If you're targeting a group, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I put so many things here. I don't know which one is. Oh, okay, yep. 4 red.
all right. And for this roll, I get +3 advantages automatically because of my signet ring and my expensive jewelry that Zivo helped deck me out in. So 4 red. All right. And maybe I can get some unskilled assistance from Erdo or Savak. Hello?
Savak certainly would pass as a Hutt bodyguard. I'd let that go.
Okay. So I do have, so I did take that Nanarium route, and so that upgrades. I also did the stim check, and I flipped, so here goes. Dun dun dun. Too bad Gristle's not here.
All right. The guy squints at your signet ring and your jewelry. He appears kind of put off by it, but he sighs as he waves off to the droids who appear to step away. And then he walked towards a nearby terminal and typed something in, and he says, "I'll make you a deal, Mr." Did you give him Palwapa?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Palwapa. I'll have the droids lead you outside the premises, and then I'll leave it up to you to find transport to Thala's event. As I said before, rules are rules, and we must not bow to criminal thugs when they seek to bend them. Mr. Otro, I'm going to type that down just so even I remember it.
So actually at this, I just erupt into a tirade. See, I'm just trying to keep their attention for as long as possible so that the other team can do what they need to do. So I'm just going to say, that's absolutely not acceptable. You destroyed my land speeder. Thala's land speeder. You've made me late for this. No, I want a personal escort to this event. And maybe get some of their security guards away.
All right, let's go with coercion for this. It's kind of a mixed coercion deception, but I think coercion is definitely what you're shooting for, especially with the word tirade.
Yeah.
It's actually still.
My coercion is.
It's going to be against the
nothing.
same.
But that's okay. I'm going to do clever solution. So it will be with my cunning. So it'll be 6 screens. I will flip. And maybe another boost from Maybe Savak looking really menacing.
Yep, I'll let it go.
And what's the difficulty again?
Still the 4 red.
4 red, okay.
And the guy, the supervisor steps back, and his eyes are just kind of. It's a mix between intimidation or intimidate. What is the state of someone intimidated? He's intimidated. You can tell that. But
Fear?
he also looks kind of still mad at you. But it's kind of that, striving against the powerful kind of mad. So he looks over to Otro and then waves the guards back into impotent rage. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. And he waves Otro over and gestures to the droids. And he says, feel free to take Patrol 7 and Reserve 1 in our land speeder to take Mr. Pawapa to whatever event Thala is throwing. And do give Thala my regards, as he looks back at you.
Well,
and while this is going on, we can cut back to the infiltration team, and again, without any resistance, you get all the way to the power generator.
How convenient.
Yeah, the bulkheads appear to have been open from the start. And you do notice there is a specific terminal that seems to be governing the diagnostics over the power generator. But that one is protected by a firewall because they're not complete idiots. So it looks like Hack is going to have to employ his skills.
Well, before that happens, Rock's going to do a thorough sweep of the area to make sure there's no personnel or droid, well, personnel, organic or otherwise, that may stumble upon them while they're working.
That and obviously when we do whatever we're doing here, someone's going to know something bad happened, so we should probably get a fix on all of the different exits and entrances to this room so we know which ways we can get out and which ways someone could get in.
Yep. And if there isn't one easily accessible, Rock will make one.
So I guess while I'm at the terminal, I would check with the schematics and also their security, if that's possible.
Before Hack starts, stim for your intellect.
Oh!
It looks like no, because it's not that hard to see people, especially when they're not sneaking. So you're easily able to just move around and look, and you don't see anyone. Regarding the security system, it looks like it's dependent on the terminal. As you do your slicer's glance through it, you see that the firewalls are keyed to the control tower, and if they are breached, the control tower is, if nothing else, notified. You could probably assume the whole facility goes on alert too. So it is possible to hijack that firewall connection and route it through the control tower.
Well, that's great. That means he can send the, if he hacks in and gets administrative rights, he can send an administrative message saying, everyone go to the Life Day Festival, or not the Life Day, Daystar Festival, because why the hell not?
If he's fortunate enough in cracking them, yes.
That's true.
All right, so to crack this terminal, I guess it would be against the creator's skill. It's going to be 3, actually I'll flip, 2 purple, 3 red. Oh, come on, roll 20B. No, it's not roll 20's fault, it's the...
2 purple, 3 red?
Yes, because I flipped.
Yeah, my stim, and I'll also give you unskilled assistance.
Don't forget to flip.
And Codebreaker will not work on this, correct?
Actually, this is more bypass security, so yeah.
So that's no, it won't work?
Yeah, no, it won't.
Okay. Alright, so I'm looking at 3 red then.
you got Destiny.
Don't forget to flip. Flip.
give in to your peer pressure.
All right, now I messed up my roll here because that was should have been 4. This no, I got it right. That's 6. Ooh. Do we want to
So
reroll?
many despairs. No, that's actually pretty good.
What's a despair?
I know, but we succeed with 5 advantage.
I mean, if you want to, go for it.
If you
Trust in yourself.
It's more like
by
trusting
all
in the die
means,
roller.
Reroll and give me 3 despair.
All right. He's not really happy about that. He's going to try to hide whatever mistake that no one else knows that he did that. So whatever the despair is, hopefully he can.
Yeah, as far as everyone knows, you succeeded.
All right, yeah. You're able to crack through the firewalls and even trace back one of their... Oh, I know how to do this. You're able to route back to the control tower, but the problem is you route back because you cracked the last one and sent a silent alarm to the control tower. So now you're in the control tower and have control, but it's because an alarm was sent and you followed it back.
And I have no idea who set that alarm off.
Well, you know you did.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
Oh, no one else would know that you set it off. Yes, that is true. All right. In fact, with that, I'll cut back to the other group, and it looks like Altro is getting ready to escort you out. But you do see a light suddenly start blinking on one of the terminals before you leave.
What's that mean?
You point it out?
Sure.
All right. The supervisor looks over and then looks suddenly quite alarmed as he claps his hands and gets the other Daons that were looking out the window to their stations. And he turns back to you and says, "It appears you need to leave even sooner than expected." And he just waves you out, and it looks like the guards are almost forcing you out the door now.
So I'm thinking of doing something here, but because it's pretty well, we're in comlink with each other, so we know that the other team set off the alarm. How many actual guards are in this control room?
Actually, according to Hack, he hasn't told anyone. All you have is notices that light.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure that we could figure that out.
Given
Well,
the
actually,
alarm that...
I'm going to whisper into my comm and say, "What's going on?"
What's going on?
Everything's fine down here. No problem. We're just about to finish up.
How are you doing?
Hack is going to have to roll deception here. Methinks.
What's my deception? That is his deception is.
It'd probably be against Ragesh's whatever because he asked.
That's cunning, right?
No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, cunning is deception, but my resistance is not going to be that great. So you're only going to have to roll against 1 red, 1 purple.
1 red.
2 reds.
2 reds. That's it?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
He can dish it out, but can't take it in.
Awesome.
All right, he's that's the typical covering my ass Hack infliction he has there.
So out of all these people working in the control tower, how many other than the droids actually look like soldiers?
The supervisor has a sidearm, but aside from that, none of them look like they're trained. Oh darn! Actually, roll me a perception. Probably should have done that instead, but oh well. Average, with a boost, given your military background.
And 2 boosts for being right next to Erdo.
All right. Yeah, like I said. However, you also notice that the droids are military grade with the advantage.
And how many droids are there?
3, the ones that escorted you in.
You know, that's why we're here, guys. I mean, we have to make sure that we give the other team time to do what they need to do. So I am going to what distance am I from the guy and the workers?
The workers are spread all about you as far as medium range. The guy that has been talking to you is short.
He's the guy with the sidearm, right?
Yes.
How many other people are near him?
Since he's ordered them to their stations, actually no one.
If I walk up to him, because I have one last thing to say, how many people can I get into short range of me?
Probably. I actually think it only would be the droids. They would try to stop you. Aside from him.
Well, if I have Savak kind of body block them for a second while I get in his face.
That would probably have to be a brawn check, but he can try.
Okay. Well, what I mean though, even before I try this though, can I get multiple people in short range, into short range?
If you're engaged with him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could probably get a few. There's a dozen of them. You could probably get half.
Okay. I'm going to start walking towards him and say, "No, this is not over." And
What?
I'm walking towards
And
him.
he just appears perplexed. And while you're doing that, if Savak, the droids are moving to stop you because they want you to leave, Savak is going to have to stop them, or else they will have a brawn check against you.
All right. So
It is
So
going
what do you want me to roll? Just my brawn?
No, this will probably be athletics.
Weirdo can provide unskilled assistance.
Yeah, Erdo can help with that. It's going to be. Ooh, they have a lot. I'm going to flip 4 red.
Is that the difficulty?
Yes, your difficulty to body check the droids and keep them from stopping Rogash.
All right, can you say that one more time?
Just 4 red die.
4 red die. Okay.
But you will get a boost because of the lighter gravity.
Yeah. I'm gonna flip.
All right. With that advantage, I'd say that you disguise it enough that it just looks like you get in their way, but they can't identify that you are actually opposing them. So Rogesh will have his chance.
all right, so I get in the guy's face, but right before I get into the guy's face, I kind of cough and I just say, "Close your eyes." And right at that moment, I unzip my jacket, and all of a sudden, the entire room bursts into light as flares go off. And I'm doing a flare jacket check.
At the exact same time you do that, you hear this in the distance. It looks like the day star has reached its zenith, and they're celebrating the new year.
Yay.
Excellent.
So everyone within short range that did not close their eyes, well, I guess droids would be immune, has to make a hard, I think, resilience check? Sorry, let me double check that. I need to make sure. Sorry, I should have had that up before I did that. Or they're staggered.
I won't even roll for them. They're staggered.
Yay!
They did not see that coming.
Okay, so as they're staggered, then I roll out. Gosh, if I roll out 3 mercy grenades, is that enough to kind of pretty much catch everybody?
What do those do again?
Once they go off, they make people unsure. It's hallucinogenic compounds, and so they can't really remember what happened during this encounter.
You can get them all, but the problem is some of them are placed oddly. You would have to resist that if it's a resilience check.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't want to forget this. What do you think, guys? Well,
I'll give you this one. It's like
Do
you
it.
have. Well, everyone is staggered. You have one free thing to do before the droids respond. I'll just make that clear.
okay. Well, I'll just throw one then to get a bunch of people, but maybe not all, because then it'll be some people's word against others, and it'll cause like lots of confusion. How's that?
If you roll away and throw it, you could catch the supervisor and the people you blinded with the same thing.
I'm going to do that.
All right. And with that, yeah, you throw it, it pops, and it looks like the dazed and confused people get even more dazed and confused. But at that point, we're going to have to roll initiative.
Okay.
While we're doing this, the team at the power generator, so far you have received, there does not appear to have been a response to that alarm, which Hack knows he set off, but not everyone else. So you now have access to the terminal and can do what you will with the power generator.
Okay, so we want to overload this, right? I want to make sure that we can overload it, and that I can put some kind of security or fail safe, so that if someone tries to stop it, they'll have to kind of go through my security. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I can get it. You're kind of setting up a defensive slicing barrier.
Yeah, if I can.
Yeah, you could do that. I'm going to say, you already correct security, so it's not going to have that same difficulty. This will be a choose your own difficulty then. Whatever you want someone to roll against to try and stop you, plus whatever setbacks you can apply, that will be what you roll.
Okay, let's see here. And does my computer skills, can I use my computer skills still to do this check?
Well, you're kind of creating defenses, so I'm not entirely sure how like bypass security or code breaker would help you here.
Okay.
Oh, do we have anyone doing GM assist for this, or?
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm
Okay.
doing it on pen and paper first.
Well, just it looks like two PCs get to go first, thanks to Rogesh and Erdo's rolls.
All right, let me get this down, and I'll get that to you guys right quick.
It looks like once you say that, they're a bit too busy trying to say hostility detected under ruler proclamation and then a lot of subsections before they finally say deadly force authorized. But they're a bit too caught up in saying that, so two of you get to go first.
Nice. Let's see. Well, I mean, Savak, you're the big bruiser, so.
All right, I'll tag on a setback to the daunting roll someone would have to make.
I also have that security thing too, so that would add 2 upgrades to it.
Oh, even better.
So, just in terms of order, 2 PCs at the top, then all 3 NPCs, and then a PC.
Did someone say an upgrade to it, my check?
Yeah, sorry, I got mixed up there. I thought we were going into initiative, but then you said there was a daunting check for something going on?
That was for Hack,
Okay.
making his
To implement
power
his own
generator.
security.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jack, it also adds 2 setbacks.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I wrote that down.
So it's a brawl check, right? Because they took our weapons.
If you want to attack, yes.
Okay.
It's going. Oh, they don't have melee defense. So it's just going to be the standard difficulty upgraded once.
Well, if they took his weapons, wouldn't they have the weapons on him?
One of them does.
Get your weapons back.
What would it take to get my weapons back?
Just punch things.
You'd probably have to arm wrestle them off. So that would actually be the same athletics check you rolled with a setback in order to get your weapons back, but that's going to count as your action.
Can I get everybody's weapons?
They didn't take anyone else's weapons.
Yeah, mine are hidden.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try wrestling my weapons. So to
Well, actually, wait a minute. They're carrying the weapons, right?
Yeah.
What about this instead, Savak? What if I go first, and if I get enough advantages, I'll knock the weapons out of their hands, so it doesn't take an action out of you.
Yes.
Okay, I will try that then. So I'm using my shock boots, and so I am going to try to kick this droid. What are the defenses?
Just adversary 1. But I flipped anyway, so it's 2 upgrades actually.
All right, so adversary 1, 2 upgrades. Okay, so we're looking at 2 reds, right?
Yeah.
And no defenses?
Nope.
Right,
No.
I'll take 2 strain for frenzied. I did upgrade, and I am aiming. Yes.
All right, that's definitely enough to knock the blades out of the droid who confiscated them.
All right, so it is 6 points of strain damage resisted by soak, but then 5 unresisted by soak, and then I use the last 2 advantages to knock the weapons out of his hand. So I kind of do the spinning kick him like right in the bucket head. And
Domsky?
Yep.
It looks like the initial hit you delivered to his head didn't phase him at all. It was only the second kick that seemed to hit his neck that delivered the stun pulse seemed to do anything. Well,
Okay.
it's sick. All right, next PC.
Next piece.
That was 5 ignoring soak, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So Savak just needs to maneuver to pick up his weapons, but he'll be armed.
Yeah, do you want to go? Actually, Savak should go. Erdo should hold his action till the bottom of the round.
Yeah, Nick, grab your weapons.
Yeah. So I grab my weapons. Can I attack this turn, or do I?
Yeah, that
No,
was a
you can
maneuver.
you can spend your action now to go ahead and attack. That was
Right.
just a maneuver.
And it was 1 purple, 1 red.
Yes. Oh, actually, which one are you attacking? The one Rogesh attacked or another one?
Yeah,
There's
let's
2 other
focus fire.
ones.
Yes, whichever one will guess attack probably.
All right. So how much damage is that?
16 pierce 2.
Ooh. 16 pierce 2. That takes
base
that
11?
down.
I have base
All right. You
I'm
do.
not base 13 score Howl.
You
so
leave
that's
some
fine.
nice. Jeff, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I should have muted myself.
You do some pretty good damage to its chassis, but it's still
I
operating.
also crit.
All right. Oh, good thing I brought this out. Feel free to roll. 70, and you don't add anything to that.
I add 10 because I have vicious with multiplier.
Oh,
80 is overpowered.
yep. You can
Yes.
roll again.
Yes.
Roll the same dice pool.
Same dice pool.
I rolled the wrong dice pool first. I have more yellows than that in melee. My bad. Should I do the same dice pool, or should I do my actual melee?
No, do the actual one. We'll make it right a second go around.
I'm sorry.
Nah, no problem.
No worries.
Don't give me a little bit of hope that this droid's gonna live.
It better live.
Yay.
Rock will be very upset.
Okay, so that's the same damage, Pierce 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that you slice its head
Clang.
off. Off with its head, and the body goes limp. So that's 1 down. The 2 other droids immediately look at Savak and they raise their weapons. What's your range defense?
1.
All right. So that adds 1. Do you have anything that would upgrade?
Nope.
All right. They're firing an engage.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I'm putting in the difficulty for that. They are firing engaged because their reaction time is probably not the best. Let's see here. 2, 3. I'm going to flip for them. All right. The first one hits you for. That's 14. 17 damage. No pierce. Actually, pierce 1. Sorry. Got that damage down. All right. On that note, the second one is also firing at Savak. Oh. It also does 17 pierce 1.
Yeesh.
But it does get threat. Any creative uses for that before I default to the chart? Is Savak still up?
Yeah, Savak should still.
Is Savak still up? He laughs at that remark.
Well, how much damage did he get?
Oh, 14.
For
So
both,
it's
or just
17 each. It should
total?
be
Okay.
17 each. It should be 16. Because 17 minus 9 is 8. 8 and 8 is 16.
I thought you said 17 for each one, pierce 1 for each.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's 7 damage each time.
Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. Ignore me.
All right, then you can perform a free maneuver. I'll give that to you. As they're firing, they're kind of stuck in that pose, so you're open to move.
Use that free maneuver for an aim, a free aim.
Well, he can decide how to use that when it gets closer to his turn. For now, it's Zerdo.
Yep.
So Erdo would get bonus or a boost because they fired a ranged weapon while they were engaged with him, right?
Hmm?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is the increased difficulty.
I'll take a. I guess Erdo will take a maneuver to like line up a punch and then start swinging.
Go, Erdo.
All right, they just have the adversary 1, so.
Bummer. Okay, so that is only 7 pierce 3. And a boost to the next person.
Looks like you kind of left a crater in one of their chassis, but otherwise it's unfazed.
Then it's back to top of the round with 2 PCs.
Oh, the leader guy isn't doing anything?
He didn't roll initiative.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's... Well, now at the moment he's just dazed with all the hallucinogens he's just ingested.
Got it. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I should just run up to him and just threaten the droids. Just say, I mean, I'm sure they've got some sort of protocol to. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, I think that kind of plays back into like why Rockman may not be able to make a leadership check is some droids just don't have that capability.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's good. Yep. I'm going to attack the droid that Erdo attacked. And so I'm doing the same roll as before. I'm aiming. And I'm actually going to aim twice. This is kind of risky, but whatever. So, oops. Okay. Here goes. Oh, and are you upgrading, Jack, or not?
No, just the adversary upgrade.
All right. Yes. All right, so that is 8 resisted by soak, but I am using 2 advantages to do 5 unresisted, and then the other 2 advantages, I'm trying to think. I'll knock it off balance and give Savak a boost. Or actually, no, I probably should wipe some of the strain. No, I'll give him a boost.
How much damage did you do?
8 resisted by soak, 5 unresisted.
Is that... Oh, wait, is that strain damage?
Strain damage.
Okay. It you can see sparks coursing through its frame, and it looks like its joints are freezing up, but it's still in play.
All right, so Savak, you've got a boost.
Neither Savak or Erdo can go.
Yeah, Savak, you've got a boost.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking. I'm talking first. You said 17 per hit. I have 9 soak. So 6, and then they each had one pierce. So 7 damage. 7 plus 7 is 14. They did the same.
No. With 9 soak, it's 8 per hit. 8 plus 9 is 17.
Oh, did I do the wrong one?
Yeah, I think your math was a little off. So with Pierce 1, it'd be 9 per hit, so it would be 18 wounds.
Wait. With only 1 pierce?
Yeah, 17 Pierce 1 means your soak is effectively 8. 8 minus 17 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18.
But I was hit 2 separate times.
Yeah, so your soak applies each time, but it was the same damage each time as well.
With this pierce.
Yeah, so Savak's base soak is 9. The Pierce 1 makes it 8, effectively.
Okay, so I'm at 17, or...
You're at 18.
Okie doke.
Unless my math is wrong. I don't think it is, though.
No, that sounds good.
I'm going to...
So Savak, you've got a boost on your attack. And you also have another boost because if you used your maneuver, your free maneuver last turn for an aim.
Okay.
Bruno passed a boost that, oh, never mind.
So I crit and I hit a second time.
Nice.
Dude, you better not. Oh my god, you fucking fuck. I hate you, you stupid fucking boy.
How much damage did you do to that one? Just with this first hit?
I'm pretty sure it's the same as last time, so I think it was 11 plus 5, so 16.
How do you do second hit, though? Because you didn't increase the difficulty for 2-weapon fighting.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's just a single hit, but I do crit.
All right. That one's a new one, so yeah, go ahead and roll. It's still up since it's only been taking the strain so far. 61. Slightly dazed. Oh, he's going to take a setback until the end of the encounter.
And it's still up?
It took... Yeah, because it's only been hit... Oh, wait, and that's... If you've been focusing fire, it took... Okay, no. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I forgot that Erdo hit this one earlier if you've been focusing fire. So yeah, this one that Savak hit is down. There's just one left.
Awesome.
All right, but that one's been perfectly unharmed and is still aiming at Savak because, again, he's taking down another droid.
With that triumph, can I upgrade his check against me?
You only crit with the 2 advantages?
I crit with 1 advantage.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Yeah, I'll upgrade. Okay, and so that makes it... And it is... What? Okay. This one does... This one also does 17 damage.
Yikes.
Pierce 1. For that 1 advantage, it is going to... Nope, yep, it's going to shoulder its rifle. It looks like it's bracing for another attack.
Ooh, Savak, you're right at your threshold. Ooh.
All right, next up is Erdo.
Don't the 2 droids go?
Yeah, we only have 1 droid left, and he just shot Savak.
Yep.
Oh. Okay. I guess Bruno will just take a maneuver to line up his punch. Okay, just 7. So 7 pierce 3 does a little bit of damage.
Yes.
I'll use those 2 light pips for concuss.
Nice.
And that's, how long does that stagger him? Just for a round?
Just one round.
All right.
Yeah, just one round.
Well, that actually means, okay, for this next round, you all basically get to go. It's not that the droid seems to be recalibrating, so he's kind of frozen in place.
Savak, if you want to go ahead.
You there, Nick?
I'm sorry, my audio's cutting out. Can you say it one more time?
There's only one droid left. He's staggered for the round, so basically you all get a round to just unload on it.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm gonna aim, and
I missed.
I'm gonna try for a double hit.
All right. I'm gonna upgrade, so it's gonna be 2 red and a purple.
Oh boy.
That's rough.
Come on.
That's
What's the thing I'll ever do to you?
Well, you can pass some boosts, and maybe with that many advantages, could he pass an upgrade?
What's that?
1 upgrade, yeah, but that'll still leave you with 2 advantages to do what you will with.
Do you want to take it, Erdo?
whoever.
I
Yeah.
think that have the boost actually. If Erdo could get 3 boosts from that, that's a pretty good swing.
Sure, you knock him off balance, and it's still recalibrating, so it can't really react yet. So yeah, I'll change that to 3 boosts instead.
Okay, here goes.
Nice.
Go, Erdo, go. Oh, wow.
So that's 7. I'll use another 2 to concuss again, and I'll just use the triumph for knockdown.
All right. Yep, he's down.
Sweet.
Well, actually, not down dead,
Oh.
but down as in literally
Got
down. So it looks like you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna say you've knocked his sensors so silly. He's in his program's frozen. It's trying to recalibrate, but it looks like it's stuck at 99%. It's just cycling over and over again. Yeah. So at this point, you notice that the people you've hit with the mercy grenade look like they're in a drug-induced fugue state.
I'm going to yell
who-
out to them, to everybody, and just say, there has been a biological agent that has been released. I am trying to warn you, I don't want more people to die than is necessary. You must evacuate if you value your lives right now. So, deception check to get people to run.
Yes. That's an interesting one. You're addressing a crowd who half of which have had their memory deleted. The half haven't.
Oh, I mean, even the ones who, I'm actually talking directly to people who haven't been mind wiped. So, I mean, they obviously know that we're bad guys, but, you know, I'm telling them.
Oh, I'm just. It's like 2 different groups. I'm trying to. It seems like you want them all out, so I was trying to come up with a difficulty that included both. And
Got it.
since
I see what you mean.
two entirely different states. It wasn't. I guess I'll just go for the harder one because the people in the fugue state would probably be easily suggestible. I guess biological agents isn't that. Yeah, I'll give you a boost for that, and it's going to be a hard check.
Hard check, okay. So I'm going to say, since we went into combat, that is a separate encounter, so I've lost my cunning boost, but that's okay. But the Nanarian route does last an hour, so I still do get that upgrade. And I will flip.
And what an hour it's been.
Yeah, all right.
Nice.
So hard, no upgrades or on
No upgrades.
Okay.
Hard with the boost. All right, they immediately start running out. It looks like there's a small hangar bay that kind of envelops the control tower, so they're all running to land speeders that were parked there.
Okay. I relay that to the other team and say, hit it, guys.
Cool.
And we're just going to get on the whatever intercom or overhead speaker system they have and just, start saying, we are detecting problems with the depot's power core. All robotic and organic personnel are ordered to evacuate post haste. at the earliest possible time.
Just a quick thought, though. Don't we kind of want to make it not seem like an accident?
Well, we will accept responsibility after it's done. Some shadowy group that we don't actually, we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
But at this moment, we need
responsibility
to
that's-
get people out.
All right.
Erdo, you've just become one of Rock's favorite people. Because I'm sure he hears that.
One more thing, too.
And just because there's a problem doesn't mean it's not sabotage.
Right. I'm also going to say to Erdo, you've got your lightsaber with you, right?
Such as it is.
Yeah, well, no, it's a good thing because I want to do this for Rock. Ragesh wants to do this for Rock. As the people leave, I ask you to sever the heads of all the droids. They're too heavy for us to take out, but at least we'll have their memory core, and so we can save these droids that we took down.
Erdo says, I've got the taser version, not the fusion cutter version.
Oh, well, I'll start breaking them then, or maybe the Reich blades, so...
Does the right blade have any pierce?
I'll do
Yeah,
it.
it does.
The right blade has 2 pierce because of a modification.
All right. Then that will be. I'm going to have that be a check, just so you don't damage the memory cores that you're trying to salvage.
Can Erdo just do a mechanics check to disassemble those parts? Do they have a toolkit around here in this control room anywhere?
Do we have time?
You're in a factory depot. Flip a destiny point, and I'll say there is one. And that will be. How much does Erdo know about droids?
He's a relatively smart guy. No ranks in mechanics. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
Well, why don't we do this for the sake of time? Why don't you both do something then? So Erdo does one with mechanics, but Savak does another with the Reich blades.
And do you want that check to be like melee because of like my proficiency with the weapons, or?
Yeah, I have to wonder because you have to kind of pair your ability with just knowing what not to hit. So I'm kind of torn there. I'm tempted to make mechanics for both, but you're just using different implements.
Well, I mean, generally the memory core is in the head for the droids.
Yeah, I would probably just sever him at the neck.
Yeah.
But how much does he know about droids?
I tell him, just chop off the neck.
I mean, they've worked with Rock enough to where they know that, like, I'm sure it's just come up, probably in casual conversation, hey, so where's your brain at? Well, it's in my head, kind of like you.
Like, does it even matter at this point? I mean, if you told Spock to just cut its head off, he'd probably just cut the head off.
Yeah.
Hard mechanics, hard melee. I'm upgrading both. Just to include that little thing in there. Once that announcement goes over the intercom, though, Rock can look out and see that the labor droids don't seem to have reacted to it. And you don't see any organics that could have reacted to it.
I guess I'll radio back, and they're not doing anything. They're not leaving.
Well, we have to keep going.
They might not have the capacity to do that order.
I know. It's okay. Thank you for trying.
What is this evacuate?
Means go home, damn it.
What is home?
Not here.
Alright, I still need the hard upgraded once melee and mechanics from.
And Savak, you'll need to do 2 because they're 2 droids that you're doing while Erdo does his mechanics stuff.
All right.
Well, 1 down.
Ugh.
I'm gonna take a. Do I just get 1 boost from those advantages?
I say you actually hit the memory core, so you now know exactly where it is. Yes, you can get a boost. You can get actually 2 boosts to the next one. All right, you actually pull
Just
that memory core out. It looks like it's still
Just
functioning.
don't tell Rock there were 3.
It looks like it's kind of stuck in an I have no mouth, but I must scream simulation for the latter one. So
Can we say with the double triumphs that this one also happens to have some good intel that might come up in another mission?
Would it though?
I'll let it be effective in this mission, depending on how quickly you can get it to a slicer.
Okay, yeah, let's get to a slicer.
All right. So you guys have now at least tried to exfiltrate all the organics in the facility and the inorganics. And most of the organics in the control tower have already fled, and so now it just looks like the team in the basement needs to, well, not in the basement, but the infiltration team needs to shut off the power generator.
Yep. So, Hack, that's all on you, buddy.
All right. So how do I do that?
You've already actually hacked into it and set up your own bypass. It seems like all you need to do is set it to overload.
Push the big red button.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we push this, how quickly is it going to overload? Is it something that's going
to... with your mechanical experience, you would know it would take a little bit of time for it to spin up. Definitely enough time for you to escape if you don't dilly-daddle.
Okay. Hack is going to look like he's, really working hard to do this, So, yeah, this is more difficult than I thought it was, but I know I can do this, and this is no problem. And he'll go ahead.
I believe in you, Hack. And you can... That's Rock's unskilled assistance, is I believe in you.
And we'll go ahead and push the big red button.
All right. Once you do, you don't have any sort of response on the terminal, but you can immediately hear the power generator start to hum and whir as its innards begin to glow a little bit. So now it looks like the time to cheese it.
Run.
Since there is an abundance of land speeders in the control tower meant for general supervision and transportation, the speeder team can now actually get a new speeder and use that to pick up you on the way out. Since
Awesome.
It looks like one of the workers disabled the no-fly zone in order for everyone to... Actually, they would already have that code anyway, so never mind. They're already authorized.
Come on, guys, jump in.
And as you speed away...
Rock's still invisible as he jumps in. So there's kind of a big thunk in the back of the land speeder.
Awesome. So as you speed away and don't look behind you... The core depot goes up in flames. The control tower, you see, practically implodes on itself as an explosion seems to flow outward into the several other subsections. And you can actually hear from below hobos and whatnot that were gathered around the outside of the plateau, not injured, but in terror, screaming and running away. So, it looks like you have succeeded in destroying the core depot and may return to the basement. Once you return, you see that Liama hasn't already called you yet, so you may have some time to yourself.
Rock will return the stealth field generator to Gristle and thank him for lending it to him.
Anytime.
Who's got a good discipline?
Mine isn't bad.
Yeah, let's definitely do a discipline check when we're talking to Liama at certain points.
All right.
Oh.
Rock actually has 1 yellow, 1 green discipline. He's as disciplined as Ragesh.
And let's also, what information can we get from the head with Hack?
Rock will gasp.
With the double triumph, well, does Rock want to respond to Hack just probing the thing's memory core?
Well, Rock will mention something about why are you carrying 3 droids' heads?
Well,
because we wanted to save them because we knew that would mean something to you.
Technically,
they were too heavy to take their bodies.
Did you want to take back the head that you already demolished? You only saved 2. Savak broke 1.
Yeah.
All right. So, retcon 2 heads. It looks like with the double triumph, the head wasn't in running any protection protocols since it wasn't expecting to be hacked while still functioning. So you can immediately slice into it. It looks like there was a plant at the core depot. Agent of Borga the Hutt was working there and had reprogrammed this droid to accept new commands when given a secret code phrase. It doesn't seem to identify who the agent was, only the code phrase.
What was the code phrase?
I love a good sabriff cooked over a warm fire.
You know, we keep forgetting to do this. We need to contact Borga. We're doing that at the end of the night. We have to contact Borga.
Oh, do you have another 30 minutes? How about I'll, just for the sake that it's so late and I'm already going to update the next one anyway, you'll have a chance to talk to Borga tomorrow.
Okay, great.
Anyway, so you now have that information, and now you may call Liama at your own discretion. And she appears. Yes, good work, agents. I believe I can even see the No. That's going way too weird. Yes, agents, I believe you have fulfilled your assignment and destroyed the core depot?
Yes.
Good. Hopefully you have managed to cut down on the casualties.
As many as we could. There were droids that weren't able to escape.
I apologize for the collateral damage. And she actually nods towards you.
So long as their deaths were not in vain.
Yes.
All is forgiven.
With this, I'm already getting reports from Solana that public unrest is growing at the news and sight of the core depot's destruction during such festivities. Her agents are already moving towards catalyzing the public unrest and using it to compel the contenders to do something in response. I believe they will meet in due time, and we will be able to conduct the final phase of the operation. For now, wait, lie low, and we shall hopefully allow this to blow over without any blowback.
I'm going to ask Liama, though, before she ends, and just say, I'm just going to say, listen, don't take this personally, but do you actually have a personal interest in any one of these factions in particular?
Crystal's going to keep an eye out for what she says here.
The Rebel Alliance supports Solana. And I'll roll that. What's Grifsel's discipline?
Rolling against it will be 2 red, 2 purple.
And let's flip it.
Actually, oh yeah, sure, why not?
All right, so 3 red and 1 purple.
Plus 3 failures. And rolling skeptic.
Yes!
Hooray, Gristle!
She appears to be in line with Alliance ideology. No, not Alliance ideology. With Alliance goals. She appears to be in line with Alliance policy in supporting Solana.
And that's with the 3 extra failures from Skeptic?
Yeah, I'm counting the fact that she failed.
Oh, okay. Oh. Well, Rock thinks she's on the up and up.
Well, wait a minute, though, because I think that was kind of an evasive answer. And this isn't like a shot at you, Jack. I mean towards Liama, because she specifically said that she was... But what I had asked her... I'm going to say again, wait. But do you have any personal interest in any of the other factions? Not just Alliance, not just the Rebel Alliance. Aligned one. Is that valid, or?
No. I'm just putting the dice pool back up since I know you're going to want me to roll against this too. Are you going to upgrade?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to upgrade as well. So
because technically she did tell the truth, but she didn't really answer the question, so that's why I'm being
all right.
Very specific.
She just flat out says no. I'm doing my job. The Alliance supports Solana, so I support Solana, but I have no personal affiliation with any of these factions. She appears not to.
Okay.
In fact, you can tell she talks about Solana with a bit of disdain, but she seems to be doing her duty, or at least doing what she thinks is her duty. All right.
That's true. If someone doesn't believe they're lying, then they're to themselves they're not lying. Wait.
I get what you mean.
Okay. I don't know
if
someone's
lying when they believe the lie.
Yes, that's it. I've had a little bit of libations.
I think we all have. And with that, That closes the part 4 of the Geharr incident, explosive celebrations. I hope you can
Yay.
see what I was gunning for here when I named it that.
Mhm.
So, I want to play some music. There we go.
Rock is going to personally thank Savak, Ragesh, and Erdo for at least retrieving the droid's memory core, so at least they can be transferred to new bodies, rather than just let them be annihilated in the explosion.
And I'll say to Rock, yep, you're a he, not an it.
Rock's going to hug Ragesh at that because he knows the significance.
Oh, that's sweet. What a nice way to end Daystar celebrations. And with that, we shall quickly move into rewards. There actually isn't duty for this, since it was frankly rather distasteful to the rebellion and to you. So it's more of a dark past. But there is XP, of course. 5 base. I'm going to give you a +1 just for how much debate you put yourselves through to figure out which one of these targets are going to go. That's like a general RP award right there.
Hey.
In fact, that's why we ran over. Another +1 for your nice little split of the team there. Instead of just trying to stealth your way past, you did a nice involved distraction that led to, I believe, a revealing outcome for both sides. At least I hope so. So that's at 7. I want to give you +1 for being suspicious. For not just falling in line, hook, line, and sinker to directions from on high. You're agents of the broker, not machines.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8. I'll give +1 to any suggestions.
+1 for locking down the control center with the big flare. And
Oh, yes. Perfect. +1, and you know what? +1 for doing that right when it struck midnight in my time zone. Because it lined up perfectly. So that hits 10, which is the limits, but I feel like catapulting you there pretty quickly because that was pretty good. So that hits the max. Everyone gets 10 XP. So let's go ahead and move into discussing the most interesting role player.
I would say Ragesh.
I would say Ragesh as well because the flare jacket, right at that time was just kind of like, and it really timed itself perfectly with all the people cheering, and I put in the chat like that's not going to inflate Ragesh's ego immeasurably. He just opens jacket and just oh, the masses cheer.
Yeah, that was just me saying like, oh wait, it's midnight. I should. And I was planning from the start to have that sound effect go off at midnight, but I obviously couldn't time it, so I was just trying to keep an eye on the clock.
I'd also like to nominate. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, Ragesh.
All right. Does anyone disagree with that? Speak your piece. Forever hold it. All right. Ragesh is really roping in the M with the most interesting roleplay, but I guess since this is a whole espionage campaign, it's just playing into his super skills.
Thanks, guys.
All right. And finally, we'll have MVP. Who do you think should have that?
I'd like to nominate Hack because we really needed his skills to lock everything down, and he made it look so easy because he's so skilled at it. And the whole thing with the land speeder that relied on him, and then overloading everything that relied on him. So
yes, I think Hack is good. Also, I think Erdo, because of gathering all the information we had on those places, made our choice a little more informed, and we actually knew what to do because of Erdo.
I'd like to vote for Hack because when he got that despair and set off the silent alarm, he played it off like nothing had happened, and everyone just sort of played along with it, even though he succeeded quite well. I thought that was a great way to play off that despair.
All right. It seems like we have 2 nominations here, so let's go ahead and make it an official vote between Erdo and Hack.
Oh shoot! I'd also like to
Oh, we have one more.
Rogesh because he pretty much kept the whole. He made that team go for all of the distraction part.
I really appreciate that, but I am going to step aside for this one. So, but thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. With that abstation, what do you call that when a person abstains? The action just abstains.
I think so.
Abstention.
Yeah, the person abstains or bows out. Bows out's a good way, or bows out of the running is a good way.
Okay, so
it's an abstention. Yeah.
Okay, so it is a word. Okay, good. So it looks like Hack. Well,
We
would
need one more vote.
but it's Leslie, so unless he either votes for himself or he votes for Edo and ties, and it ties. All right, roll 1d100. Let's let fate decide. See who the force is with tonight or this morning.
Close enough either way.
All right, Hack wins. Hack is MVP through the luck of the die. And with that, we come to the end of part 4 of the Geharr incident, Explosive Celebrations. I hope we all had a chance to celebrate with explosions, and I hope everyone watching had an excellent New Year's Eve.
Yay, thanks for jamming.
Yes, thank you.
Yay!